Number 12 here. 19. Wednesday night's problem. Here we go. A couple questions first. How many sides in a pentagon? 5 sides. All right, guys. All right. Regular means all 5 sides are congruent. One of the sides has these endpoints. So what do I want to do to find the length of that side? Distance formula. D equals big square root. What are your x coordinates there, Kate? So 2 minus a negative 1. So 2 plus 1 squared. And then your y coordinates? 3 minus 4 squared. And what did you get out of here? The square root of 10. Yep. That's one side. How many sides? 5. So what do I want to do with that square root of 10? And I can't multiply it. One's underneath the radical, one's not. So I'm just leaving it as 5 square root of 10 as your perimeter. Go ahead, ask any questions. Thank you, Kate. Ask any questions here. Distance formula, 5 sides, all the same. So I multiplied it by 5, 5 radical 10. Yes?
I can't add the square root of 10 by 10 by 10.
You could. Then you get 5 square root of 10. Right? Because you're going to have 5 of them, right? So you get 5 square root of 10. You could do it that way.
Okay. But you can't simplify it. It doesn't go to radical 2.
No. It's like this. X and X. What do you get? If I write 5 of them out, I get 5x, right? So if I have radical 10s, 5 of them, you get 5 radical 10. Good? Okay. Gonna need a strong one here. This is probably the toughest one all week that I handed you. And it's not tough, just the problem's not tough, it's just the setup you might make a mistake on. Before we start and I call on somebody, BOY to GRL 1 to 2. So which triangle has the bigger sides? Which means GR would be bigger than BO, correct? Okay, let's just remember that before you give me the equation. 17. There you go. You guys just told me, hey, you just told me GR was the bigger side. So why would you multiply GR by 2 to make it even bigger? Or think of it this way, ready? 1 to 2. Stay with me here, 1 to 2. What's the 1 represent? That's triangle BOY, which is BO, x plus 3. And what's the 2 represent? Triangle GRL, which is GR, 3x minus 1. So when you cross multiply, do you see why the 2 and the x plus 3 need to get multiplied? Okay, Max, let's keep going. 2x plus 6 equals 3x minus 1. What'd you get for the value of x? 7, but that wasn't what we were looking for. Read the problem, please. Find the length of GR, so you plug it back in. 3 times 7 minus 1. What do you got for me there, Max? 20, length of 20. Nope. Everyone all right? Again, hey, these are nothing I picked out of a book or I said, hey, that's a tough one. I'll make their lives miserable. These are all old practice Regents questions. Anything else? You're off this weekend from them, and then we're back to it next week. Okay, 4 more next week, but you're off from them this weekend. We need to clear up any confusion on these 30, 60, 45, 45 triangles right now with the homework. Today, we're going to do a second day. Nothing changes, but the algebra with the radicals gets a little tougher. Bless you. Okay? So I need to clear up any basic issues that we have right now. I'm going to start in your packet. All right? I'm going to start in your packet. You guys had 4 questions in the packet, it looks like. All pretty basic, but I will still go over anything you want to ask here. Mike?
4.
Take a look at 4, everybody. Okay, did they fill everything in for me? Yes, they did. All right, so like I showed you guys at the end of class yesterday, try to fill in all the other angle measurements so you can see the different types of triangles. So 30, and that'll be 15. How many of you see a 30, 60, 90? So do I. How many of you see a 45, 45, 90? So do I. Let's start with the 30, 60 because that's where the radical 3 is. And that is triangle SPT is 30, 60, 90. A little refresh. Let's pretend I wasn't here yesterday. What are the rules? What's across from the 30? X across from the 60. Be careful. 3. Yep, not 2. That belongs to the 45, 45, 90. And what's under 90? Okay. I provided you with radical 3. What angle is across from the radical 3? 30. So that's where it's going to go in my chart. Fill in the rest of the chart with me now. Here we go. 10. What do I do to the 30 to get to the 60? Multiply by? Okay, so radical 3 times radical 3. Yep. So it's going to be radical 9, so 3. Name that side in that triangle SPT. What's the segment across from 60 called? Okay, so that's ST. One of the sides you need to define, ST. All right, how do you get to the side across from the 90 now? Let's keep going with our rules. 19, what do I have to do with the side across from 90? Multiply radical 3 by 2, so 2 radical 3. Name that side, everybody. Name that side that's across from the 90 in triangle SPT. Nope, sorry. My bad. There we go. Good so far. We found 2 out of the 4 lengths. Now I turn my attention to triangle RST, which is what type of triangle? RST, that's a 45, 45, 90, XX, and X radical 2. Only focus on this triangle RST. What side do you already know? What side do I already know in RST? 4, what side do I already know? And what angle is it across from? Okay, so that means across from the other 45 is 3. Name the side across from the other 45 in triangle RST. RT. And then I multiply it by radical 2. Name the side across from the 90 in triangle RST. RS. So I found all 4 values there. Anything else from the homework? Okay, go ahead, Amy. Not textbook yet. I'm going to get there right in a second. Now that you have your packets out, can you go to tonight's homework for me? Because I need you to add something to one of the problems. Can you go to page 14, number 5 right now? Page 14, number 5. This is part of tonight's homework. Because right now you can't do the problem. Unless I tell you, everyone ready? Everyone see angle DCE in that diagram on number 5, page 14. Everyone see angle DCE is 45 degrees. All right, you're going to need to know that to actually do the problem. All right, angle DCE on number 5, 45 degrees. All right, anything else from the packet before I go to the book? Anything else from the packet? Okay, go ahead, Amy. What do you got from the book? Okay. Okay, this is a 30, 60, 90. And I am given the side across from 60 and asked to find the other two sides. All right. So everyone else needs your help too. If I'm going from x to x radical 3, if I go backwards here, what's in place of x? 8. All right, so 8's in place of x. Good. So 8's across from the 30, so that would mean x equals 8. And then everyone else, little help. What do I do to go from the 30 to the 90? Multiply by 2, so 8 times 2. I get 16 there.
So what I was thinking, because wait, I don't get that. Because it says the 60 is like 8 radical 3.
Yep, and 60 is x radical 3.
Yeah.
So that must mean my x is 8. Good? All right. Because it's not going to be, this is going to be like a 12 here in a couple minutes. And what do you do now? Okay, that you just can't pluck the radical 3 off anymore. All right, we'll talk about that, but that's what today is. More questions from the book. Go ahead, Rachel. 20, everybody. Okay. Good question. We're going to work more on this today is what happens if I have to work backwards in the chart. So this looks like another 30, 60, 90. Okay, so where's the 15 across from everyone? 15? Okay. We're going to work a lot on this today, and that is, yesterday it was moving to the right in the chart. Now we're going to move to the left. All right, and how do I, well, think about it. To go from here to here, I multiply by 2. So if I went backwards, I would have to divide by 2. Okay, so if I multiply by 2 to get here, to go backwards, I'm going to divide by 2. So 15 divided by 2, 7.5 for the side across from 30. 7.5, which would be y in this case. All right, now let's go to the right. What do I do to the side across from 30 to get to the side across from 60? Multiply it by radical 3, so 7.5 radical 3. You could have also left 7.5 as 15 over 2 if you wanted to. So this would have been 15 over 2 radical 3, whatever floated your boat. Keep asking here. A lot of the time today is going to be on your own. I have 3 problems I need to go over with you, and that's it. Anything else we need to talk about or discuss? Okay, can I do a quick check then of your packet and your bookwork? On Tuesday, you have your quiz. Hills and Sass, 30, 60, 45, 45. Okay? Everybody good on that? And what was your, I just needed to say that before I forgot. Monday is your review. Okay, I'm not doing anything new between now and then, all right? So Hills and Sass, 30, 60, 45, 45, 90 triangle on the quiz on Tuesday. Monday is a full review of it, all that stuff. What about the questions?
Are you done? Okay. So when we all did our homework, remember when we all wrote questions and then you were like, all right, when everybody does their homework on like Wednesday or something, we'll ask these trivia questions or whatever.
Are you going on a boat later?
Why do I feel like this is like no?
Yeah, I didn't know because you had your life. If we all sank right now, you'd be the only one alive with your life vest. It's okay. It's okay. Was that the first time I've done that in here? It is?
I've been waiting. I've heard about that one.
Really, that's the first. It's taken me 20 some odd weeks to do that. Wow.
That's an L.
Hey, you want to be safe? I understand. It's treacherous out there. You could drown anytime. You are. And if we ever go down, all of a sudden, you will. As you're floating up on top. You are correct. Ready to go. I'm not changing the rules today. It's just the radical algebra gets a little tougher. All right, and I know you guys came from different places last year, so I'll make sure I go very slowly here. All right, when we get to the radical part. All right, 30, 60, 90 triangle, right? Okay. Rules aren't going to change. It's still going to be x radical 3, and 2x. What side did I give you guys? The side across from 60 is 12, and I'm looking for the side across from 90. Whew. All right, a little bit tougher now. Well, I can tell you, there's no chance I'm going from the side across from 60 to the side across. I have no idea what I do from x radical 3 to get to 2x. No idea. But if you find me the side across from 30, what do I do to it to get to the side across from 90? Multiply it by 2. So that's what I'm asking your help with is, how do I get that side across from 30 so I can get the side across from 90? Well, we're working to the left now. Going to the left. How did I get here? I multiplied by radical 3, right? So how do I go back to the 30? Divide by radical 3, and you guys know how I feel about sloppy decimals. Don't bother, don't bother, don't bother. I don't want 12 divided by radical 3 in your calculator. All right? So everyone agrees we're going to do 12 divided by radical 3. Now, I don't know if you got to this last year. I hope you did in your algebra class, but you can't have a radical in the denominator. Does that sound familiar from last year at all? Okay, I know that. I know you're coming from different places. I realize that. All right, I know that coming in every year. Okay, so I'm going to slow it down. You can't have a radical in the denominator, so you need to get rid of it. How do you get rid of it? You're going to multiply the numerator and denominator by the radical you want to get rid of. So I'm going to multiply the denominator by radical 3 and the numerator by radical 3. And here's why you can do that. Do you know what this is equal to here? 1. So you're not changing this at all. You're just multiplying by 1. Okay? So ready? Watch what happens. On top, what do you end up with? Numerator times numerator. 12 radical 3. And then watch what happens on the bottom now. Radical 3 times radical 3. It's radical 9, which is what? 3. No more radical in the denominator. No more radical in the denominator. Can you help me simplify this at all, though? Can we simplify it even more? Don't touch the radical. Can't touch. But 12 over 3 is going to be 4 square root of 3. So 4 square root of 3 is what's across from the 30. What do you mean? No, that's why we have to multiply it by itself. Don't multiply it by like radical 6 or radical 10. Multiply it by itself. All right, so if that's 4 radical 3, what did you guys tell me to do to get to the side across from 90? Multiply it by 2, so go ahead, 4 radical 3 times 2. 8 radical 3, yep. 4 times 2, 8 radical 3. We okay? Let's keep taking it slow here with the radicals. Here we go with 2. What's the length of BC? AB's 2. What? Like you're just going to Just going to put it out there, Will? Like, oh, yeah, I didn't call on number 2. All right, question for you. Triangle ABC. ABC, is that one of our special right triangles, ABC? No, it's not. I got a 45, a 30, and whatever that whole angle is up there. That's not a special one. So what I'm trying to show you is there's no way you're going to go from 2 to BC. We got to find some sides in between first. All right. So 2 is also a part of what special triangle we know about? A 45, 45. Yes, it is. So here we go. 45, 45, 90. X, X, and a little reminder, X, radical 2. I'm going to turn it over to you guys now. Where's that 2 across from that I gave you? Where's that 2 across from? Here you go, 6. There you go. So it looks like the only thing I can solve for is the sides across from the 45s. I don't know why it's 6. That's a good question. Well, where did I get 6? Did I just call the number 6? Is that why? All right, all right. That's still no excuse. It's just embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I should. Maybe I'll swim out. All right. Okay, 2. How do I go backwards now? Well, I got here by multiplying by radical 2, so how should I go backwards? Divide by radical 2, and here we go. I know this is only your second one. Let's take it slow. How do I get rid of the radical 2 in the denominator? Multiply denominator and numerator by radical 2. So what do I get in the numerator? 2 radical 2 all over. And this is why we multiply it by itself, to get rid of it. 2, and then yes, simplify. So that's what's across from the 45s, radical 2s. Think we can get to BC soon? Can we get to BC soon? Okay, BC is part of what triangle, though? BDC, which is what special one we've talked about? 30, 60, 90. So now we got to get out another chart. What side do you know in the 30, 60, 90? Here you go, 14. What side do you know? No 14 today? Good talk. How about 19? What side do I know in that 30, 60, 90? BC? That's the one we're trying to find. BD, which is how long? Radical 2, and what angle is it across from, Kate? Last question, I promise. In this triangle, yeah, but now we're in the 30-60. We're in the 30-60 now. So it's across from the 30. So radical 2. Everyone all right? It's across from the 30 degrees. And we're looking for what? The side across from the 90 in the 30-60. So what do I have to do with that radical 2 to get to the side across from 90? Okay, go ahead and multiply it by 2, and you're just going to have 2 radical 2. Anything you want to ask there before to the one, and you go on your own? All right, we got a rectangle. Find its perimeter to the nearest 10th. Find the perimeter. All sides added up. Anything you want to tell me about angle C? It's a rectangle, so it's got to be 90 degrees. What type of triangle are we working with? 30, 60, 90. X, X radical 3, and 2X. What side do you know? What side do you know? Here we go. 7. What side do you know? Across from 90 is 12. Yep. Can you help fill in the rest of the chart? Going backwards now. If 12 was the side across from 90, don't say anything. What was the side across from 30 then? Here you go. 9? 6 divided by 2. So the side across from 30 was 6. And what about the side across from 60 then? 10? 6 radical 3 is across from the 60. And if it's a rectangle, what do you know about opposite sides? They're congruent. How do you get the perimeter of a figure? Add them all the sides up. So I have 6 plus 6 radical 3 plus 6 plus 6 radical 3. What can you combine? What can you not combine? Okay, you can combine like terms, specifically what up here? That's what I was looking for. Okay, which give me 12. Can you combine those, the 6 radical 3s? Do they both have radical 3? Okay. Plus 12 radical 3. Okay, hey, make a note here, because I know this is not my final answer because I haven't rounded yet, but this would be if I asked in simplest radical form. All right, if I change the directions, which would be an easy change, especially for you guys, simplest radical form, that would be my final answer. But it does say nearest tenth, so we do need to go to the calculator right now and find that perimeter to the nearest tenth. Savor this moment because it doesn't usually happen. Usually it's simplest radical form. So to the nearest tenth, the perimeter is going to be 4, 32.8. Any questions from everyone in the audience here? While you're working, I'm going to pass back your similar triangles test. So if you want to ask me questions individually, you can. If not, all you guys have is packet homework tonight, right? All right, 5 questions. 5 questions, I think. All right, let's get after it. Call me over if you're stuck.